This is one of aviation's most haunting mysteries. It's the story of a flight that seemingly broke all the laws of time itself.
I mean, just think about that for a second. A plane disappears and then just shows up again decades later. It sounds like science fiction, but it's the core mystery of one very legendary flight, Flight 914.
Okay, so picture this. The date is July 2nd, 1955. Pan Am Flight 914 takes off from New York, 57 people on board, headed for Miami. For about 30 minutes, everything is completely routine. And then, at 8:35 p.m., it just vanishes.
No warning, no mayday call. The radio just went dead, and the radar screen was suddenly empty. There was just complete and total silence. Of course, a massive search and rescue operation was launched right away. We're talking ships and planes scouring the Atlantic. But they found nothing. Not a single piece of wreckage. No life rafts. It wasn't a crash. It was a disappearance. Like the plane just ceased to exist.
For 37 years, the case went ice cold. It became a kind of ghost story, whispered among pilots, a file just gathering dust. The world simply moved on.
And then, nearly 4 decades later, the story takes this completely impossible turn. Suddenly, we're in Caracas, Venezuela. The year is 1992. An air traffic controller there spots an unidentified aircraft on his radar.
A confused voice crackles over the radio. The pilot sounds lost, asking where they are. He identifies his plane as Flight 914 on its way to Miami. You can just imagine the control tower. Complete, stunned silence.
The controller, trying to stay calm, cautiously responds. He tells the pilot he's over 1,000 miles off course. And then he drops the bombshell. He tells them the year is 1992. The only thing they hear back from the cockpit is shocked silence. So as the plane lands, the ground crews are just baffled. It's a Douglas DC-4, this old propeller plane that looks like a museum piece, parked next to all the modern jets. It looks ancient. And through the windows, they see this bizarre scene. The passengers are all in 1950s fashion, staring out at a world they clearly don't recognize. For them, it's like no time has passed. For everyone else, it's been decades. As the ground crew starts to approach, the pilot seems to finally grasp the insane reality of his situation. He panics. Over the radio, all they hear is him shouting that they're getting out of there.
Before anyone can stop him, he guns the engines. This old plane thunders down the runway, takes off with incredible speed, and climbs right back into the sky, disappearing for a second time.
What an incredible story, right? A plane literally lost in time. But here's the big question. What does the evidence say? What do the official aviation logs from 1955 or 1992 tell us?
Well, here's the crucial twist. There is no official record, no flight log of a Pan Am 914 ever disappearing. No radar data from Caracas, nothing.
So, where did this whole story actually come from? Well, not from a historical event, but from the pages of this, a tabloid newspaper famous for its wild, completely made-up tales.
The tale of Flight 914 is one of the internet's most powerful urban legends. See, it was never real, but it got told and retold so many times in so many places that it just started to feel like a genuine historical mystery. And you know, that brings us to the most interesting question of all. If we know it's fake, why is the story of Flight 914 so captivating? Why do we want to believe it? The power of this legend is that it taps into our deepest curiosities. The idea that time isn't just a straight line, that the world is way more mysterious than it seems, and that maybe, just maybe, the impossible could happen. It's a story that, a lot like the plane itself, just refuses to vanish.
And that's why, even knowing the truth, the story leaves you with this kind of haunting final thought. We know it's not real, but the legend makes you wonder, what if?